When they remind you of who you used to be, remember who you've become. Stoic Wisdom Intro. There are moments in life when we think we've already left the darkness of our past behind. We've learned to forgive. We've believed that every wound has finally closed. Then, one sentence, one familiar voice, one person who once knew us best says, "You used to be like that." And suddenly, everything returns. The memories, the shame, the anger, the urge to explain, to be understood, to prove that we've changed. But in that very effort, we step back into the past. We stop being masters of ourselves and become hostages of what we used to be. Marcus Aurelius once said, "No one can make you feel ashamed unless you give them that power." Today, we won't learn to forget, but to stand still before our memories without fear. No justification. No anger. Only stillness, like a mountain that has endured enough storms to no longer need to defend itself. Part 1. Hook and Inner Truth. A gray afternoon. Rain-soaked Seattle. In a small cafe by the corner, Ethan sits silently by the window. The coffee in his cup has gone cold. Drops of condensation trace slow lines down the glass, like old memories sliding through his mind. He's spent years trying to cleanse himself. The mistakes, the drunken nights, the bursts of anger, the collapse of everything he built, and the woman he loved who left when he had nothing left. The door opens. Anna walks in. She smiles softly, her eyes meeting his. "I still remember. The man you were. You were a mess." Time stops. Not because of the words, but because of what they awaken. The image of himself, fragile and defensive, trying to prove his innocence. Thousands of reasons to react flood his mind. I've changed. I'm not that person anymore. But his hand only tightens around the coffee cup. He stays silent. He recalls the words of Marcus Aurelius. If what they say is true, accept it. If it's not, why be disturbed? Anna watches him, waiting for a defense. Ethan simply nods. Yes, I was a mess. No justification, no explanation, only the stillness of someone who has stopped fearing himself. And in that moment, he realizes it is not the past that hurts us most, but the desire to be forgiven for it. Part 2. Stoic Analysis. What humans truly fear is not the past itself, but being trapped in the image of who they once were. When someone reopens an old wound, the ego's instinct is to react, to explain, to justify, to prove that I've changed. But Stoicism teaches, the more you need to be understood, the less peace you will have. Ethan once lived that way. He used to tell the story of his redemption as if the past needed to be washed away with words. But the more he spoke, the clearer it became. He was still a prisoner of others' perception. Seneca once wrote, "No man is defined by his scars unless he chooses to touch them every day." Ethan realized Anna wasn't trying to hurt him. She just hadn't let go of her memory, the version of him that justified her leaving. If he grew angry, he'd confirm her belief. If he stayed silent, he'd escape the loop. A Stoic doesn't try to win the dialogue. He simply refuses to lose his peace of mind. Ethan looked into her eyes. Behind the judgment, he saw fear, guilt, a longing for forgiveness. And then he remembered Epictetus. The one who hurts you is merely someone who hasn't learned to heal themselves. When someone reminds you of your past, they're not truly speaking about you, but about the version of you they still haven't released from their memory. The wise understand that and simply observe without reaction. Part 3. Lessons and Application. The next morning, Ethan opened his old leather notebook. He wrote 3 lines, 3 principles that changed his life forever. 1. Acceptance. Yes, that happened. Not to remind yourself of weakness, but to acknowledge that you've lived honestly. No denial, no erasure, just observation, like looking at a painting that has already dried. When the memories return, he doesn't run from them. He whispers, yes, that happened. No one can use what you've already accepted to hurt you, because what's been owned can no longer be used against you. 2. Learning. I've learned from it. That afternoon, Ethan met Tom, a friend standing where he once fell. Tom was jobless, exhausted, drowning in self-doubt. He asked, "How did you get through it?" Ethan smiled. "I didn't get through it. I became someone else because of it." He said, "Every failure is a classroom, and no one leaves the classroom while they're still angry at the lesson." Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The obstacle is the way." Ethan didn't preach. He listened, with a calm presence that made others feel safe. As they parted, Tom said, "You've really changed. You used to react so quickly." Ethan smiled. "I still feel everything. I just no longer let emotions drive me." 3. Observation. Why are you bringing this up now? Another day, he met Anna again. She said softly, her voice trembling, "I still don't know why, but I can't forget what you did." Ethan asked quietly, "Why are you bringing it up today?" That question, without edge, without anger, touched something deep inside her. She burst into tears. "Because I never forgave myself." Ethan looked at her in silence. In that moment, he understood. Those who hurt us are often just people who lack the courage to forgive themselves. From that day on, Ethan no longer saw the past as a scar, but as a map that led him to compassion. Part 4. Reflection and Stillness. Night falls. Seattle glows under the rain. Streetlights shimmer gold on wet pavement. Ethan steps out of the cafe, his reflection in the glass, no longer the man he once was, but a soul at peace with itself. He stops, takes a deep breath. The light on his face feels warm. Still. He whispers, as if to the past, "Thank you. But I've already finished writing that part of the story." Then he turns, walking slowly through the rainy streets. A calm voice narrates, "People will always try to pull you back to old chapters, not because they hate you, but because your light reminds them of their own darkness. They don't attack because you're weak. They attack because you are at peace." Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When someone behaves wrongly, teach them through your calmness." And that is the victory of the Stoic, not through words, not through reaction, but through an unshakable stillness. Breathe in. Stay still. You are no longer what happened to you. You are how you rise from it. Be calm. Be still. Be free. Essence, message. The past does not define you. How you rise from